going to appear next is Carol Test, she, her. Carol is a Phoenix native who holds an MFA from the University of Arizona, where she served as the former editor-in-chief of Sonora Review. A Pushcart-nominated, prize-winning fiction writer, she began writing poetry at the start of the pandemic, which is a great hobby to pick up, better than bread, although bread is also good. Excuse my ad-libbing. She has been both student and teacher at the Piper Center and will be teaching a seminar at the Desert Nights Rising Stars Writers Conference virtually February 18th on healing trauma via hybrid forms. You can also visit her at thewritingcycle.com, where I will post a link, or excuse me, thewritingcycle.com, where I will post a link shortly. Again, please join us in holding a moment of space, applause virtually. Carol Test.
Thank you so much, Jake. I assume I'm on.
You are on. Take it away.
All right. I'm going to read a few poems today. The first is called Natural Disaster. La Soufriere, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 1902. Volcanic lightning cracks and baked clay rains on proto-egg inside my mother, inside my grandmother, coiled tight, waiting to ignite midnight cigarette, my temperament, my regret, smoking fiercely through first dates and father's funeral. Who knew her little island, cinders still? We decided to leave the past in the past, my parents said the night they met, to forget burnt cigars on downy arms, ethnicity and coal, grandfather ferried, a-spirited, horse-drawn, to wealthy brownstones back east. We never got beyond the Genesis. Narcissus dreams, zip-tied childhood astride a diving board, black-eyed cartoon characters on cotton t-shirts. Rise, Phoenix, shake off your past. Dust, Phoenix, we are but cul-de-sac kids who sling plastic guns as boomers swallow the moral end of police procedurals. And in the fertile soil of another autumn, dystopian stories sprout from students who'd been preschoolers that September day. Touch flecks on your cheek in disbelief. The ash of memory falls, furring eyelids and lashes for generations. I want to share a poem and, if possible, share my screen. Jake, can you help me do that?
I would be glad to. Yep.
Okay. Am I doing this?
So, yep. So we'll have a moment together as a community figuring out the share screen. You're good. Take it away.
Right. So this is an erasure poem. It's the only poem you'll have to look at. It's called State Farm Con. After my family home burnt down a few years ago, I decided to write a poem. This poem is composed entirely from partially erased pages of contents inventory insurance claim 03H318 redacted. In a natural disaster, act of God, your duties after loss, catastrophe, dollar signs, numbers, what is value? Note depreciation. Items require documentation, damage, smoke and ash. America remembers market value, items, amount and type. America remembers dream phone, stagecoach, the Christmas wife. Replacements available for 4 adult videos, 53.78. 1 Holy Bible, NIV, depreciated. Aluminum foil, 1093, saline laxative, fleet. Twin comforter, Ninja Turtles. And teach yourself to speak German, French, items 323 through 786. Multiple Cardinals, Sons, Smith & Wesson 38 revolver. Sheet music, elk antlers. 1 wedding dress, depreciated. 1 Super Nintendo, disputed. 1 Dell laptop gateway, disputed. 1 new MacBook in case, disputed. disputed, 7 death certificates, 2186 each, undisputed. America remembers, special dispensations made for statuary, furs, antiques, gold, jewelry, firearms, and watercraft, which by their inherent nature cannot be replaced. Unlike homemade board games, framed photographs, stuffed animals 5, 6, 12, and 8. America, remember, promise intact, property not useful for its intended purpose. Remember receipts, our promise incumbent on your documentation. Assessed original value, $99,099 redacted. Amount due customer, $35,001. Cost adjusted for depreciation. All items lost. These are real uppers. Am I back to me, Jake?
You are back. Great job.
All right, I managed technology. And 2 more poems. By tragic necessity. The first time I saw my parents touch, I was 20. They did not hug or kiss us growing up, even with their words. My father loved movies, skipping endings he didn't like, rewinding good clips again and again. The first class passenger putting on his finest, sipping brandy, going down with the ship. Master of Cambridge, a clink of his glass, exhorting a generation, coming of age in the shadow of war. From my place on the floor, I strained to see, screen blocked by green volume bars he adjusted. Before he died, my mother said, "Your father doesn't like what you write, but he likes that you're good at it." Even then, I seized champagne glasses on hurdles, effervescence coalesced into class to win as if your birthright, never grunt or sweat. Swarthy, my father's complexion read on his draft card, a man of undetermined race through film, urged aspiration. To Anglo accents, heroic actions, perhaps he too had seized the wrong stories. Med schools dissect into sinew, wars erase that luxury of emotions, no expressiveness, the me, the my, the I. He sat us in front of a small screen to stories. Express yourself here, he seemed to say. The band that played on, cavalry lines at dawn, plot twists, the long shot. Like many immigrants, they became scientists so their children could become artists. They didn't realize this, or maybe they did, so we could carry on. The me, the my, the I, humanity, our history. My mother takes herself to the symphony alone each week. Everyone knows it's the only acceptable place to cry. And the final poem I just drafted. It's called Lingua Franca. Baby brother, languages die when the last of their speakers die out. Your ex messaged a video, you singing comic opera, beard clippings for new job, beside filthy sink, wanted to know not the tune, but what it was from. As though I spoke music, yet with you, books and memes. Your friend, pro wrestlers turned disc jockeys, our brother, classic movies, plus Tombstone. Your students, res slang, Apache. Those who grow up absent, I love you, become multilingual without even knowing it. Siblings' birth, secret languages, worlds that dwarf Saturn. Boots, cowboy hat, wordless beneath masks, we navigate ramp after ramp bearing Paul. Family plus ex-husband plus ex-boyfriend plus ex, perhaps sex is my language, but really, it's my refusal to surrender. Good music, the AV guys nod to me. Getting you out of that church. We've never worked so hard at anything. together. Save hoarded cans of peace, no peace, board game comorbidities, towering castles of gingerbread dreams. Perhaps your remains contain Palmair the game, an empire, its last gasp white with foam, as that boy whose life you saved from ocean wave a world away, from billowing volcano, and solid rocket booster whoops slicing white across the blue of Jesus schools, stars and stripes we folded, raised, then lowered, till towers bowed in different skies, you and I, heading classrooms this time, trudging to see it through with a quip in our finest, pour the brandy, that's what we do. Smack a chocolate Christmas orange, the kind his family could never afford. It breaks into perfect slices, theoretically. Of course, I'm a disaster, naturally. Your gentle levity helped us humanize since. Perhaps you knew only grief could salvage this. Perhaps tears can become language too. And one day we will sleep in this earth together. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Carol. I always feel so lucky and privileged to be able to just spend time with all of you. I hope everyone here feels the same way too, especially during the pandemic.